Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. In a moment, we'll get back to Ambassador Elijah Onyegba on that previous conversation. But quickly, let's move on to a second conversation. This year marks 25 years since the establishment of the Niger Delta Development Commission, an agency created to fast-track development in one of Nigeria's most resource-rich but deeply challenged regions. Over the years, the NDDC has faced praise, criticisms, reform efforts, and a growing demand for accountability. As the Commission marks this milestone, many are asking what has truly changed in the lives of the people of the Niger Delta. Where has the Commission succeeded and where has it fallen short? Joining us now is the Managing Director of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, to reflect on the journey so far and what lies ahead. Good evening to you, Dr. Ogbuku. Thanks a lot for joining us on Politics Tonight. Can you hear me? Good evening to you. Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, can you hear me? Right, if you can.
Yeah, good evening, Jumoke.
Congratulations to you on this milestone. I mean, 2 years down the line.
Yeah, good evening, Jumoke.
You assumed office. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
All right, thank you. So, first, congratulations to you on this milestone. So, I said 2 years down the line, you assumed office at a point all eyes were on the leadership of the Commission for real impact in the lives of the people.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yes, I'm speaking to you. Over the years, it's been stories upon stories, funds investments into the Commission. Can you hear me, Dr. Ogbuku? All right. So, I mean, over the years, it's been stories upon stories, funds invested into the Commission, but nothing to show for it. How would you describe the evolution of the NDDC from its inception in 2000 to this point in 2025?
Well, thank you, Jumoke. I think NDDC, just like you know, is like every other organization in Nigeria. We had our ups and our downs. We have our history. But unfortunately, NDDC never told its story before now. In the past 25 years, NDDC have carried out projects across the region, in the nook and crannies of the region. I can bet you that today, if you go to most of the communities in the region, remote communities, the only government presence you see is only NDDC projects. But most of these stories were not told. And you must know that the needs assessment, as at the first time NDDC was created, was to reach out to these communities to see all these things, except you go to these communities. However, NDDC graduated from that to now start constructing bridges and roads in urban areas, connecting communities, connecting regions, and that is where NDDC is today. Let us forget about the dark side of our history. But I can tell you that if NDDC were to be a failed story, the government wouldn't have also copied the operations of NDDC to come up with 6 other regional development agencies. That is to say, it wasn't a complete failure. But let us dwell on the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he put together a board of credible persons, experienced persons, and give them the task of ensuring that all abandoned projects should be completed. Gave us the opportunity to sign a performance bond, and we are working according to the dictates of Mr. President. And you know that recently you can see NDDC commissioning projects that were started within the period of this administration. NDDC have started construction and we're commissioning projects, very fantastic projects, based on needs assessment. You can also attest to our Operation Light Up the Niger Delta, where communities that have never seen light today, they're all illuminated. One of the major projects that will even touch you was even the commissioning of the Okitipupa Light Electrical Project, which gave light to the entire Ondo South that have been in darkness for the past 15 years. So that is to tell you that NDDC is working. But right now, I can assure you that we have gone beyond that by trying to ensure that we create a structure that will bring about transparency, probity, and accountability in NDDC. We have engaged KPMG to design our corporate governance structure for us, and that KPMG has done. We'll soon be launching that document with the SOPs. That will help in also regulating us externally and internally. And that is building a permanent structure of, compliance in NDDC. So right now we're also going into partnerships to complete a lot of abandoned projects. One of those major projects like the Kaataba Bridge, which is 1.2 kilometers long, which is for our partnership with NLNG, the Bonny Ring Road, the Okrika Burukuri Bridge, and other projects which we are going into partnership to ensure that we finish. So I can tell you that NDDC today, we have a sweet story. The people of the Niger Delta right now are happy with NDDC. Today, communities are trooping down to NDDC requesting for us to carry out projects in their communities. So NDDC is not seen as the NDDC of yesterday again. So I want us to dwell, and I've always told the people of the Niger Delta to thank Mr. President for his concern for the Niger Delta and putting together a team that has been able to deliver on his promises.
Right, Mr. MD, thank you for talking about this legacy project, and I'm very happy to hear about the Okitikpukpa Light project. But what exactly would you say is, or rather, let me rephrase that, what strategic direction of the NDDC for the next 5 to 10 years? Is there a new master plan or developmental blueprint for the region under your leadership?
There is a master plan for the NDDC that expired. We have been able to put together another new master plan with the then Ministry of Niger Delta, now Ministry of Regional Development. I think we worked together on that master plan so that it does not seem to be like an NDDC master plan. It is a Niger Delta master plan. And that master plan, what we are doing now, the next phase of it is to go down to communities, the grassroots, to ensure that we market this master plan to them, for them to understand what the master plan is all about. So we are not just preparing a master plan that will just be with us in the office and the people do not even have a buy-in. So we have to orient them.
All right, Dr. Ogbuku, kindly hold on. Let me allow you, let me pause you for a moment while we take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight. Thank you very much for staying with us. NDDC at 25, and I've been speaking with the Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku. Tonight we're reflecting on the journey so far and what lies ahead. Thank you so much for staying with us on the program, Dr. Ogbuku. So you've asked me not to dwell on the dark history of the Commission, but sadly that has to happen because, you know, the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, had reviewed or once reviewed that the NDDC had or has over 13,000 poorly executed and unverified projects despite 6 trillion naira allocation it received from 2001 to 2019. Now that you're in charge of the Commission, where does this change start from?
Well, I think if you make reference to what the former Attorney General said, he was actually quoting some part of the forensic report which has not been made available to us completely. But I think the aspect of the forensic report, which was given to the Commission, was one to actually delete projects that were cancelled by the forensic audit report, which the Commission has handled that already. But going forward, I think NDDC have learned from those mistakes. For us, coming in as a board and management, we decided to learn from our mistake and improve on the successes of our predecessors. So while we improve on the success of our predecessors, we are fired up to do something differently. That is why we're putting all the structures that will guarantee transparency and probity. That is why we're also trying to ensure that we use data in most of the things we do. That is why we have also improved on our procurement process. That today nobody can even fake our procurement documents, our procurement certificate. Nobody can fake them. So we have improved on our processes that we've been able to sever that dark past of those mistakes, and we're moving forward to ensure that we have a solid NDDC that will hand over to the next people that will take over from us. That's why I told you we engaged KPMG to design our corporate governance structure, and KPMG have done that work. That document will soon be launched for everybody to see, so that you also guide our regulators internally and externally.
All right, I like that. And on behalf of the people of Niger Delta, thank you for that. But is anyone being held accountable for the abandoned or poorly executed project of the past? You know, beyond the forensic audit, what institutional changes are now in place to guarantee transparency?
I think the truth is that, to the best of my knowledge, the anti-graft agencies have been busy working on most of all these things, and most times they request for documents from us. We send them those documents. So I think on our part, we are giving them the best of cooperation, and I believe those who are held responsible, they also report to them. So because if the anti-graft agencies were not to be working, they wouldn't be requesting for documents from us. So we cooperate with them by giving them those documents. So I think at the end of the day, people are going to be held accountable for that.
Okay. You know, another major challenge, relatively also, precisely 5 years ago, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs at that time says most contracts of the Niger Delta Development Commission were awarded to members of the National Assembly. Now that you're in charge, how do we make sure that there are no external and excessive political interference?
Well, that is why I keep saying that the people of the Niger Delta should be thankful to Mr. President, because Mr. President has focused on NDDC, and he has made NDDC one of his major priorities. And because he has focused on NDDC, he did not abandon it for politicians. That is why politicians are not also putting that pressure on us. So whether National Assembly, whether anybody as a political appointee, they don't put pressure on us, because everybody knows that it is a no-go area, because Mr. President is interested in the improvement of things in the Niger Delta, especially for the welfare of the people, and ensuring that there is a turnaround in NDDC, which we are also working in that guidance.
But how are you addressing the issue of abandoned projects, which has been a recurring problem over the years? Is it truly about funding?
Well, you see, the issue of abandoned project is not just issue about funding. You must know that NDDC over the years have had a very high turnover in board and management. You can imagine between 2015 and 2023, I was the 9th managing director of NDDC. So within this period, people come, they award projects. After 1 year, they drop them. Other people come, they start theirs. So definitely there's bound to be abandoned projects. So if boards are not allowed to complete their 4 years, that means they did not finish what they started. Others also want to come and start theirs. So I think that has been the problem. So it is not just because people wanted to abandon projects. But Mr. President has already told us that we that are on the saddle now, he is giving us the opportunity to complete our full 4 years, and we are going to be held accountable for what we do after our 4 years. And that has made us to be very, very focused in ensuring that we plan on projects that we can start and finish. And he has also told us to complete all legacy abandoned projects. That is why we are working towards completing them, especially the ones that funds have been expended. We may not be able to do all, but we are ensuring that at least we do those most important ones that are very important to the people of the Niger Delta. But under us, we want to believe that we have to turn a new leaf to ensure that we don't continue in that trajectory of abandoning projects. But I can assure you that there is a dawn of a new beginning in NDDC courtesy of Mr. President, and based on his guidance, and because he has not taken his eyes off NDDC.
All right. I would have loved to ask you about community involvement, but sadly we're out of time. But is there a plan to transition the region from dependence on interventionist agencies like NDDC to more sustainable, locally driven growth?
Well, you see, the truth is that for us, our vision for NDDC is not only because we are looking at the future of NDDC beyond just contributions from IOCs. We're also going to ensure that we diversify. We want to focus greatly on agriculture because that is the direction of this present administration. And Mr. President has told us that we must focus on agriculture. The people of Niger Delta must be able to produce and feed themselves. So we want to focus on agriculture in our next chapter. And in doing that, we want to have a mini retreat between all the state commissioners of agric and NDDC and other stakeholders, maybe including federal government agencies too. Already we have a partnership with IFAD, the Life ND, which on assumption we have already paid our own counterpart funding to show that we are serious to forward the agricultural project. So after the mini retreat, we are going to have a regional summit for agriculture, where we'll come up with a proper roadmap for agriculture in the Niger Delta. We believe that the Niger Delta is very, very rich in agriculture. It is just left for us to harness our agricultural potentials and bring them together to form at least an integrated agricultural structure that will support us in the Niger Delta.
All right, thank you so much for speaking with us. Managing Director, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jumoke.
All right. Ambassador, can you hear me? Let's continue this conversation quickly.